Is it too late? Have I missed the boat? And is it worth still getting into property investment? Hi, I'm Ed McKnight from Opes Partners, where we help you become a successful property investor right here in New Zealand. And in today's video, we're going to talk about whether you've missed the boat or not if you haven't got into property investment yet. Now, there's going to be two questions we answer so that we can fully answer that question. The first is the house price growth we've seen here in New Zealand in 2020 and early 2021, is that unprecedented? Have we seen anything like this before? And then the second question we're also going to answer is whether you have missed the boat and whether house prices are going to flatline in the near future. So let's get into it and answer that first question. Now, you might look at a graph like this, which shows the New Zealand House Price Index, that's New Zealand house prices every year since 1993 up to today in 2021. That's 28 years worth of house price data. If you were to look at this end and look at the last 12 months and say, oh my gosh, look how steep that line is. We've never seen anything like this before. 21.5% growth in house prices just over the last 12 months. We've never seen anything like that before. But then what we've got to do is look at a graph like this, which shows the percentage change per year of how quickly house prices have increased as a percentage every single year from 1993 right through to 2021. And you can see that there are times where house prices have grown very, very quickly, and there are times on occasion where house prices have declined as well. But when you look at the last 12 months, you can see we have had some astonishing growth over the last 12 months. But draw a line across to see, is there any time over that period where we've had higher house price growth? And the answer is yes. We saw that in the 2003-2004 boom, where we saw February 2004 house prices increased an astonishing 24.13%. Incredibly quick house price growth. And so when we answer that question, is what we've seen over the last 12 months unprecedented? Have we never seen anything like this before? You've got to answer no, because we have seen house price growth at this rate in the past. Now let's answer that second question. Have I missed the boat? If I'm not investing in property already, is it still worthwhile getting going? Or is house price inflation going to drop to 0% and house prices are going to flatline? And I think what you've got to do is look at, well, what happened after previous booms? So let's assume that this is the peak of growth, 21%, and we're not going to see that continuing. We're not going to see another 24% increase in house prices. Well, what happened after previous booms? Well, house prices peaked, or house price growth peaked, in February 2004. But house price growth did not decline. We didn't see house prices decrease until April 2008. That's 4 years and 2 months later. And during the interim period, this 4-year period here, we still saw quite extraordinary house price growth. It wasn't 24%, but in some cases it was 15, 14, 13% per year, which is still well above the long-term average. And you can see that here, even after the peak of percentage growth, house prices still increased another 41% after they had technically peaked. Now I want you to think about this a bit like your car. If you're speeding along at 100k per hour, you're getting where you want to go very, very quickly. That's like house prices growing at 24% per year. Now, if you slow that car down to 50k an hour, you're still moving ahead. Your wealth is still increasing and you're getting where you need to go, but it's just not happening as quickly. That's kind of like your house price increasing at a 5 or a 7% per year. Now, you might be saying to me, Ed, come on, give us a prediction. What do you think is going to happen? I'm still picking that we're going to see some pretty significant house price growth into the future, at least for the next couple of years before they level out. Now, that is going to be different based on each individual region. Some regions are already well through their booms, where others are just at their start. So it is going to be different based on where you're investing. But I do think on the whole, we will see house price inflation. Some of the policies that the government is looking to implement are going to take time to have their effect over here. I'm talking RMA reform and some of the regulation that's coming in around what investors can and can't do. What am I thinking is going to happen to this graph? I think we're going to see a leveling out of that house price growth. We're not going to see 21% house price inflation again, but we might see 10, we might see 15%. And certainly as first-time investors trying to build up their wealth, that is still worth going after and pursuing. But just to be clear, I'm not the only economist picking this. In fact, I was just reading Home Truths by Westpac, which came out early March 2021. They've said, look, mortgage rates have fallen even further than when we last calculated house price growth. We have adjusted our expectation to expect a 17% increase in house prices in 2021. And each economist is going to have a different view on that exact amount. What's pretty clear are most people are picking will still see increases in the future. Might not be at that same rate, 21%, but certainly still quite frothy house price growth. So let's answer that second question. Have you missed the boat? Is it too late to invest in property? And I think the answer is pretty clear. Probably not. But having said that, if you procrastinate, if you wait too long, at some point there is a risk that you may not be able to invest in property anymore, or it may get harder. And so I think it's definitely worth considering if this is the right decision for you. If the right decision for you is to invest in property, you probably want to be taking action sooner rather than later.